Well, that was Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's already arrived in the United States, his first visit to America under Trump's second tenure. And this is an official working visit of PM Modi to United States that comes at the invitation of the president himself, Donald Trump. PM Modi, remember, is among the first few world leaders to visit the United States for a meeting with President Trump, and US extending an invitation to him just weeks into Trump's second tenure demonstrates the kind of importance US attaches to India. Well, of course, we're going to be keenly keeping a close eye on the developments that are coming out of India's visit to the US and, the kind of strategic ties when it comes to US defense procurement from India, energy partnership, terrorism, China becoming the common rival. Well, all these factors are going to be on our radar. But back to markets and, what a volatile and testing time it's turning out to be for our markets. What with the volatility yesterday, while we did reach sub that 2300 mark, from there, we recovered in the latter part of yesterday's trade, and all that happened with the Dow overnight. I mean, just such wild swings. On open, it was down about 340 points, recovered all the lost ground, and then fell again. So this is getting a little hard to call.
See, Aisha, you have to look at three components here. One, the global component. The global component is not bad. Frankly, both in terms of the trajectory and also in terms of the news flow. So I think global markets are not far away from its all-time high. Yes, markets are reacting to news. For example, last week it was reaction to earnings. This week the reaction is to the US CPI data. So global setup is not bad at all. It is in fact more favorable. Nobody is talking about crude. Crude is declining. Dollar index is at 108. Yields are behaving themselves. They are not shooting up. They're not coming lower. I ideally want them to come lower. But there is nothing in the global market which really could be called as a concern or nothing which is a hurrah. I think it is status quo, with mild reaction to news here and there. And I think that is what the setup in terms of the global market is. So you start afresh with the hope that you will get crystal clear clarity on which way the tariff between India and United States would move by the time Prime Minister Modi visit concludes. Global cues are stable to static, and that surely is not having impact on the global setup per se. India, Aisha, I will discuss separately, but I think globally you would say obvious, boring, good, and not volatile.
Yeah. That's the take coming in on the US markets. Also, although on closing we fell about almost 200 points for the Dow, the futures right now are a little bit mixed. Investors eyeing earnings. The dollar's flat. The 10-year yield has topped that 4.6% mark because, the CPI figures, they still remain very sticky. And CPI for the month of January in the US has risen to 3%, and that's a 0.5% of an uptick coming in on a month-on-month basis. Oil, in the meantime, that's ended its three-day gaining streak on the back of rising US stockpiles. In the meantime, for our markets, we've managed to decline for a sixth consecutive session. SMID indices, they're down about almost at 8-month low, and it's the longest selling streak that we've seen in about almost 2 months' time. Yes, we resurrected from the session lows, and thank God for that. But yeah, a lot of pain out there.
Again, it's a story of two halves, Aisha. While you can optically say that Nifty is down for 6 days on the trot, the trend or the trajectory is not something which I would say that it is worrisome yet, because Nifty, even though 6 days of decline, it has not broken key resistance levels, key support levels, and it pretty much seems to be meandering in and around a nice band. The small and the mid-cap stocks, after that painful Monday and a terrible Tuesday, showed some signs of recovery. So is it just like a one-day wonder, and are we likely to see some uptick or some recovery in small and mid-cap stocks? I think it's too early to assume that. The momentum in the small and the mid-cap stocks is down. I would approach the market in the similar manner, which is that look at Nifty, and if Nifty sustains these levels for next 2 or 3 days, today being FNO expiry, you need to be optimistic on Nifty. Within that, the puck really is with large cap stocks, and within that it is banks, and now news flow even is improving for large cap banks. Small and mid cap stocks, which saw a recovery yesterday, I don't think they are out of the woods. You should avoid buying into small and mid cap stocks right now. You should avoid averaging them out. If you own weak stocks, or if you own stocks which you don't understand in the small and the mid cap bracket, I think it is time to really use the strength to your advantage to sell. The momentum in that space is over. The word value is still not there, and I don't think anybody is in a hurry really to revisit small and the mid cap stocks. You need to avoid them. A better strategy is that churn your portfolio towards semi-large cap and large cap stocks, because that's where the treasure of value is. It is hard to do that, but I think that really could be the best strategy in this kind of a market. I say the following, what I was indicating earlier, Aisha, these stocks had become Humpty Dumpty. They still need to lose a lot of weight before they are ready to run. I mean, they'll have to cut a lot of fat and then add a lot of muscle. And unfortunately, we all know that when we have to lose fat, mehnat lagti hai. And that is hard work. It will take some time. So how do you add muscle? You go to the gym. How do you lose fat? You cut down on sugar.
I've really been working out.
trying to. I'm just trying to put that analogy. So small and mid cap stocks had become obese. How will they shed weight, which is valuations? How do they add muscle, which is earnings? I don't see both happening in the interim. So that is where it is. Large cap stocks, well, they've shed a lot of weight. Now they're adding muscle, and soon they'll be ready to run. For someone who just watched a fitness show, I think I can relate to that now.